Remedios, help, healing, and solutions, and how stories make evidence meaningful. Our storytelling is based on keeping track, which reclaims, creates, implements, and builds confidence and healing so programs and communities can keep track of what really matters to them. It is the depth of our ancient human participation with nature that has been lost and indeed must be regained in some substantial form in modern life and modern science. The cosmological and philosophical must once again become rooted in a life-centered lived experience in the natural world. So says Dr. Gregory Cajete, who we've based our work upon. What we see is always a matter of perspective, so our primary goal is to learn to see from more than one perspective. The first shift is looking at learning by doing, rather than only looking at learning by instruction. This means seeing yourself within your community, working relationally as a designer of your own learning, and learning how to witness the growth of yourself and your teammates. So everything we're doing is based in a natural way. Our roots and fruits is the first remedios. Below the ground, we're building agency, the ability to achieve purpose and affect change. Above the ground, we're expressing agency, putting our purpose into action. And for shared context, we use storytelling to honor the 4 R's: relationships, responsibility, reciprocity, and redistribution. These qualities represent the importance of strong connections between people, personal accountability, balanced giving and receiving, and the equitable sharing of resources within a community. Every job in every career represents the fruits of the tree, growing from the roots of life, work, and learning skills in the context of the 4 R's. Remedios is a Spanish word meaning help, healing, or solutions. We begin by looking at the power in our hands, starting with curiosity. We then look at identity, being who you are, where you are. Agency, the ability to achieve purpose and affect change. The courage and resilience that is necessary. Our commitment to solving problems together. And finally, trust. We learn, unlearn, and relearn together through collaborative conversations as we explore how storytelling allows us to broaden our ways of recognizing and honoring learning beyond the traditional linear Western models. And these skills show up in 2 ways, both for ourselves and in our interactions with others. So the key for all of this is going to be activated by daily practice. I ask you to take 5 minutes and do exactly nothing, and then make this your daily practice. You give yourself 5 minutes every day that's yours alone. Having a daily practice is important no matter what it is. Doing it every day is not the point. That's impossible. You will miss a day. What's most important is starting again the next day. No 2 days in a row missing. This will give you and strengthen the discipline and resilience needed for the long haul. We use this 5 minutes to listen within, to see what feelings arise and what the memories are, for healing, help, or solutions. All our learning takes place within cycles of time, through actions of giving and receiving. When you keep track of your daily practice, you can learn what supports it and what gets in your way. Place-based learning is not only where you are, it also includes when you're doing the activity and who you're doing it with. When we're making local connections, we're pretty much in the same time-place. When we're making global connections, we're working in different time zones and sometimes in different seasons. Time is one more way our learning becomes place-based. We learn to keep track of changes through our experience in all of our Ascend activities. And so our next remedios is unforgetting, by which we mean learning, unlearning, and relearning. And we're inspired by the legend of the three sisters, corn, beans, and squash. We explore how we're living in three different worlds through music by reflecting on the indigenous wisdom represented in 30,000 years of history through the native Taos flute, our Western culture for instruments that have been around since the 1850s, the alto flute, and the digital sovereignty that comes from the electronic instrument, which represents where we are today. As we look through history, we can see that the way we've used time has been influenced by our connection with nature originally. There are 13 moons, representing 364 days. People notice that the sun rises 1 minute earlier and sets 1 minute later every day, or the opposite depending on the season, just as the moon rises 1 hour later per day. Western culture adapted machines for doing this, clock time, and that was mainly used for navigation. Minutes and seconds are what's used to determine latitude and longitude, which you need if you're at sea to figure out where you are and where you're going. And these days, digital time is how we do it, smartphone time, which actually uses satellites to send precise time and location signals so that you can know not only where you are and when you are. Also, the way we use energy is different than it used to be. Originally, fire was a process seen as a natural element, and its survival was completely necessary for how we managed that. It was internalized to internal combustion in Western culture, and these days even digital fission and fusion can be used. So we're living in all three worlds at once. And that's why it's so important to have the learning, unlearning, and relearning. Learning happens in cycles. There's study and there's practice, and that's when we're at the expressive part. When we receive and we come the other way, unlearning is based on feedback and revision. So we're always going and coming in this two-directional cyclical process. Here are the 21st century teaching and learning skills which combine the hand of learning to form the durable life skills that we use. They consist of creativity and innovation, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, making local connections, making global connections, self-direction, and using technology for learning. You'll notice only one of these needs the technologies. The rest are absolutely authentic intelligence. So here are the durable life skills that allow us to gain the power that we need to be able to go for the jobs that are the fruits of the tree. How we use our relationships, responsibility, reciprocity, and redistribution. And these are understood by life, work, and learning. Let's look at what these skills actually consist of. Interpersonal, integrity, initiative, professionalism, adaptability, flexibility, dependability, and reliability, and lifelong learning are the components for the life skills in the durable life skills. The learning skills are reading, writing, mathematics, science and technology, critical and analytical thinking, communication, and basic computer skills. Each of these 7 parts then form the skills for work: problem solving and decision making, customer focus, creative thinking, teamwork, working with tools and technology, scheduling and coordinating, sustainable practices, planning and organizing, business fundamentals, health and safety, checking, examining, and recording. Working in teams of 5, all 200 participants in our project will interview each other for stories to create examples of each of these life skills to form a library that we can share back with our communities in all language spoken in our communities. And as you can see, these are the basis for all of the career clusters that students will follow as they're doing their preparation to begin entering these professions. With these roots, they can access all of the fruits. These skills are the basis for the foundation of every career, and each aspect becomes a layer in our story maps. In the real world, we'll talk how these life skills show up. We'll describe how the learning skills are used and how they support the skills of work.